Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Put up some old content a long time ago, just my car videos, but recently I decided I should be recording all the other shenanigans that I do and all the other work and make some videos of it so you guys can see the progress on things and come along with us to the track to test stuff out. So it's the weekend, don't have to work today, so we're going to work at the shop here and work on the projects and give some updates on some of the cars, and you take a look around. So first up, we got to clean up the shop. It's been a busy summer season. We're going to the racetrack several times, doing some autocross, road racing. So shop's a little bit of a mess. So we got to get her cleaned up first. So let's get going. You guys saw we made some great progress there. Got a lot of stuff cleaned up. Not perfect. Got some decorations up, some little upgrades here to the shop. Got some new lights in, a little bit of light here at the workbench, a little more. This is our monster toolbox. Pretty budget deal that we got there. That's actually an old toolbox that they use at Boeing. We're in the Northwest here, so Boeing does some surplus auctions, and we picked up a set of two of these. One is a pair of two, and then we got a single, and they're designed to be bolted together, so we bolted them all together and made a really large, heavy-duty toolbox out of it. Picked it up pretty cheap at auction. That's an old electronics workbench as well. Picked up at a surplus. Right now it's a whole mess over there. It's kind of where we're thinking to put our grinders and some of our fabrication gear over there. So let's go check out the cars and talk a little bit about what we got maybe going on here in the future with some of the cars. Over here in the back we've got the Dakota. Let's do a deep dive on the Dakota. I think a lot of people probably want to know a little bit more about that truck. V6 Dakota is a fan favorite on the channel here so far. It is my first vehicle I've ever had. It originally was equipped with an old 3.9 liter LA V6, and it's since been upgraded to a 3.9 liter Magnum V6. The engine has Keith Black forged pistons in it, an overboard 30 over. We had the heads and the block decked about 10 thou just to clean it up and get a little more compression out of the motor. We got JBA shorty headers on it. It does have a Hughes Engines camshaft in it. I've ported the intake, cut the runners down a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit, about 2 inches. I took about 2 inches out of them. We got a larger throttle body on this engine and bigger 21-pound fuel injectors to keep up with the demands of it. And we got an MSD box on this. It's not wild. It is just a V6, but the weight of the truck is pretty low. The truck has 390 rear gears. It used to have a Detroit locker in the back, but as you can see from one of my older videos, I did break the axle. When I broke the axle, I did break the Detroit locker. I do have it rebuilt, but it is not currently installed. We have on the truck competition engineering traction bars. We've got about a Beltec lowering kit on the front and the rear. It's lowered about 3.5 or 4 inches in the back and about 3 inches in the front. Hey guys, so pop the wheel off here so you guys could check this out. As you can see, these are not stock Dodge Dakota brakes. We've got a custom brake kit on this truck that adapts it to some Willwood forged Dynalite 4-piston calipers here, and we got a 13-inch Dodge Viper brake rotor that this kit uses. These were really limited run. That a guy made about 10 years ago. I think I'm probably one of the only guys that picked one up. It's very simple. Love this kit. If you guys didn't know, originally these trucks have an integral wheel bearing and rotor, making disc brake upgrades beyond stock stuff just really difficult. But what we got going on here is we've got a custom built, custom machined steel wheel hub that accepts the original style Timken tapered roller bearings, extremely strong. We got some ARP studs and everything else, all the other hardware here. This truck stops really hard with this brake setup. We used to have some track pads on it, but it just chewed the rotors up, so I just kind of downgraded it back to street pads. Obviously we've got braided stainless steel brake lines on this truck. Coming in here a little bit, we have Bilstein shock in here, and we got some Beltec 856-pound springs on the suspension. Now these springs are just too soft for this truck, to be honest. At the performance level that I want out of it, it's just too soft. And that's my current problem with the truck. I got to get more spring in this truck to really handle the way that I want it to handle. There's not a lot of aftermarket for the front suspension on these trucks. One of the other projects I'm trying to work on for next year, I want to get this up for autocross. I want to ditch these stock upper control arms to factory ones, and I want to build some NASCAR style adjustable, fully adjustable control arms there. Mopar used has wonderful ball joints that are all screw in, generally fairly universal, so there's a lot of parts availability that's used in motorsports to do that. So I kind of figured out all the parts I need to do the upper control arm, get a lot of adjustability out of this. So I'm going to work on doing that. I've got an ADCO aftermarket sway bar in the front of this truck. Here as well. The truck originally did not have a sway bar at all. So huge upgrade for this truck. I'm looking to get this truck back and running and hopefully get it out for autocross next year. The engines we got in storage. This is a 5-liter out of a Fox body. This was going to go into Jesse's Mustang. He's decided he wants to do a Coyote swap in that car. So this is now a spare. Over here we've got a 5.2-liter Magnum V8. This is for the Dakota. I do have a Mopar M1 intake manifold and some Mopar aluminum cylinder heads that are going to go on this engine at some point in the future. Here we got our trusty engine hoist, our old welder, but she works good for the jobs we need to do. And out here towards the front of the shop, we kind of have some shelves broken apart into some workbench areas. We do a lot of the work on the cars just kind of out here in the back. We got a workbench on either side, so no matter what you're doing, you got something to set your stuff down at or sit down and assemble some parts. This is the Dirty Panda. It is owned by our buddy Earl. It is a 1989 Fox body. It is an LX car. We picked this up many years ago. Someone's unfinished project. It's been kind of a bit of a basket case, but it's been a really fun journey working on it. We decided to take this car out autocrossing. It is not really set up for autocross. It has an old kind of crummy suspension. It was basically like autocrossing, a drag car with some sway bars, but the car's got almost 300 wheel horsepower. It is an awesome car. It's got plenty of power. Yeah, it was kind of a hoot on the autocross course, but. As you can see, Dirty Panda kind of lives up to its name there. Over here on this side of the shop, we got Jesse's 1995 Mustang. This used to be a V6 car originally. As you can see, we have since pulled the engine on this car. Over here is the V6 that used to be in Jesse's Mustang. You can see it looks a little bit different than a standard single port 3.8 liter V6. This one has an Eaton M90 blower on it from a Supercoupe. We've obviously got quite a bit of spare Supercoupe parts. We decided before we pulled the motor on Jesse's car that we would supercharge it and have a little bit of fun with that V6. We did not blow the V6. It still worked just fine. Last car to talk about today that lives at the shop is my 1995 Mustang GTS. It is a real GTS car. It's got the little crank windows, no power options whatsoever in it, and then we've deleted all the amenities like air conditioning and the air pump, everything like that. It is a dedicated track car at this point. Only an automatic transmission car, and it was beat to hell. We swapped the auto trans for a T5 from a V6. It is so far held up to drag racing, road course, and autocross in this car without really any problems. The GTS has probably been the biggest project that we've really undertaken as far as cars, because we've really touched about everything on the car. All right, guys, time to put the cars away. We're all done for the day. Dirty Panda here. It's the first one in. We usually park it in the back. one car in, one to go, and then it's time to head home. Alright, decided to switch cars today, so I'm gonna throw the T-Bird back in the shop because we got a little bit of nice weather. Be fun to drive the Mustang around a little bit before the weather goes. Marvel of 1980s technology, right?